Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Happy Saturday to all of you. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. Today we're playing NightmareCwb's Jade Druid. Now, Jade Druid is one of my all-time favourite decks, and with this deck, the deck author was able to climb from rank 1000 Legend to rank 277 Legend in the month of April with a 71% win rate. Very, very impressive. So I decided that I needed to give this deck a try. It's been a while since I played Jade Druid. A couple of things to note. This deck is updated for the Forged in the Barrens expansion. Injured Marauder is in the deck. Worth just talking about Injured Marauder very, very briefly. Injured Marauder, of course, is a 4-cost minion with a 5/10 body with Taunt. However, on the battle cry, you deal 6 damage to the minion. So if you play it from hand, if we can do math, it's a 4-cost 5/4. That's not great. But if you bring it out through Oaken Summons, it's a 4-cost 5/10 with Taunt. That's great value. Oaken Summons into Vargoth, into a second Oaken Summons, into the Marauder is even better, and that can just win you the game on the spot against aggro. Another thing to note with this deck is it plays Yogg Saron Hope's End. That's the original Yogg, not the new Yogg. And it's worth thinking about the merits of old Yogg versus new Yogg. Did the deck author not have access to the new Yogg, or did the deck author find that the old Yogg is just better in general than the new Yogg? Maybe that's something that we will touch on towards the end of the video, and we'll see how our Yogg plays go in the 4 games that we are going to look at from the end of the April season. So, Jade Druid, big green men, masses of armour thanks to Solar Eclipse and a whole range of armour gain spells, but let's have a look at the deck in action here. And we're going up against a mage. Okay, so Nature Study is always nice to have in the opening hand. If you could follow it up with a Jade Blossom on turn 2. We don't have Jade Blossom, but we'll take Mark of the Wild. Yeah, we'll take Mark of the Wild. We could generate a small green man here, a Jade Golem, and we could taunt it up. It's pressure. On turn 2, with 3 attack, 4 health bodies. Not too bad. Oh dear, encounters flow. So it's going to be one of those games, is it? Lots of discounted spells. Flame Wakers, perhaps? Mozaki? Is that what we're going to die to? If they could draw enough of their cards, we could just be dead on, what, turn 5? Turn 6? Our deck is slow. We specialise in gaining lots of armour. Now, Oaken Summons is a massive help. That's not Vargoth. I would have much preferred that to have been Vargoth. But 7 armour here, 30 health, 37 health in total. Is that really going to help us, though, against a deck like this? That's just going to go off on spells in a couple of turns' time. It's just going to kill us. Sure, we can gain armor, but we need time to gain that armor. We need to draw our armor gaining cards. We need to draw Solar Eclipse to combo with those armor gaining cards. At this rate, we're just probably going to die. Oh! Oaken Summons. Into... not Vargoth. It's the Marauder, which is fine. It's a 5 attack, 10 health body. Really hard to remove. However, I would have preferred Vargoth. Now, the aim is to survive until turn 10 and play Ultimate Infestation. Whatever the state of the game at that point, it should help us stabilise. Ooh, we got Flurgle. Now, we've got no Murlocs in the deck, but surely getting Flurgle is a sign of good luck. Such an awesome card. absolutely love it in Murloc Shame. Okay. We are still alive, and we are at 44 health, including armor. Meanwhile, our minions are chipping away at the face of the mage. They've got a lot of cards in hand. How scared do we need to be here is the question.
The future is ours.
And they're going to draw more cards. That's not good.
The tools of creation.
Sorcerer's Apprentice going to ruin our day.
Behold the tools of creation.
Oh dear.
Behold the tools of creation.
So Luna acting as a cheap imitation of Vargoth there with her beholds. And that's it. I feel very lucky here. I feel exceptionally lucky. So we could Starfall. I was also thinking Poison Seeds. But this clears the board. That's important, I think. Meanwhile, we are edging ever closer to turn 10. And ever closer to Ultimate Infestation. Oh, here we go. They've decided now is the time to go off with the Flame Waker. Are we dead, is the question. You may look at their mana count. 3 mana left to use. Surely we can't die, you say. You'd be surprised at just how much damage they can do with so little remaining mana. You look at this and you think, 26. We're okay, surely, right? No, here comes more damage. Even more spells. Spells that generate spells. More spells that generate spells, of course. And you look at this and you just think, am I dead? Am I just dead here? No, we're not, thankfully. Down to 8. Wow. Just wow. Thankfully, we saved the Poison Seeds. Although if we had access to Starfall, that would have done it too. The minions were at 2 health. If we live into the next turn, then Ultimate Infestation is going to save us, I think. Not dead? No fireballs? Not dead. Fantastic. Well, let's see if we can stabilise through this. Solar Eclipse is exactly what we needed, along with Ferocious Howl. That's our stabilisation tool. Such a good combo. Double the armor gain, double the card draw. If we really want to be clever, we could play Yogg and see what happens, but I do feel like survival is important here. There's still going to be another Flame Waker in that deck. So we need to gain armor quickly. Here we go. We draw another Howl. That's amazing. It is amazing. Just take the opportunity here to shuffle, and we'll discount. I was going to say discount our next spell, but Crystal Power here just is fine. Heals our face. So, at this health total now, essentially at 40, including armor, with a second Flame Waker, can they kill us? That's the question. going to take them some time, though, to build up resources to get to that point. So, time is on our side now. We have Malfurion in hand, so we can gain more armor.
My dream is your
However, this is just far more interesting and much more fun. I think Malfurion would have been the sensible play, but Ysera is just Ysera, right? And look, they're drawing us cards. They're giving us dragons. That's a nice dragon. That's also nice. Oh wow. Original Ysera. Not bad at all. Wouldn't it be great if Ysera Unleashed gave you those dream portals, and the dragons that came out of the portals also triggered their battle cries too when they hit the board? Wouldn't that just be spectacular? Blizzard, if you're listening, could you buff Ysera so that happens? Alright. Time for Paladin. There are a lot of Paladins on the ladder, and I think armor gain is going to be important for us. Poison Seeds too, I think, if it's buff Paladin, could be helpful. But we're going to have some time here. We're going to have some time to build up our hand, gain our armor, draw some cards. Because they need to draw their resources, they draw their cards, buff their cards, play their cards. So a little bit of time for us here. Jade Blossom is massive. That's going to allow us to ramp into Oaken Summons now on our next turn. Which is huge. If we get Vargoth in particular, it's absolutely huge. Okay. Buffing their minions. Still have a little bit of time. So, I guess Oaken Summons is the play here. They don't think there'd be a situation where Ferocious Howl would be warranted on that turn. You'd be floating mana, it'd be inefficient, so Oaken Summons just seems sensible, but that's not a Vargoth. That is not a Behold. That's just a Marauder. Which is fine. It will trade into some of his stuff. It'll trade into that line, for example. But I don't seem to be getting lucky with Vargoth nowadays. Vargoth just seems elusive with Oaken Summons. Doesn't want to appear. Poison Seeds is huge as these buffed minions come down.
Ooh, a rainbow.
Okay, still taking the time to buff. Buying me more time. That's good. Poison Spiders seems okay. It's going to put the Paladin in a difficult position here. They're going to have to decide what to commit to the board, knowing that it's probably going to die to spiders. Wow, more buffing. I guess we're not putting them under too much pressure with our early game, so they are just taking full advantage of that with their buff effects. I don't blame them. And whilst we do have Poison Seeds to deal with their buffed minions, that's only going to deal with the first wave of buffed minions. A second wave of buffed minions could be problematic for us. Although we're not Poison Seeds. We're not casting Poison Seeds on that board. It's just a broom. But I want to get rid of it. May feel like a waste, but I just want that board clear. Besides, if we do play Poison Seeds on a whiteboard, we then have Spreading Plague to go with
May
it, so...
the light grant you peace.
So is this a board that you decide to play Poison Seeds on? Probably not. That's a Ritualist. Okay. Yogg Saron could also do some work in this game, potentially. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, this is old Yogg, not the new Yogg. The new Yogg can be quite hit and miss. Just sometimes it whiffs massively. You know, taking control of 3 enemy minions, for example. Sometimes you just get the 3 worst minions. Filling the board with rush minions.
My dream is your nightmare.
Just sometimes that is bad because your opponent gets better rush minions than you do. Yeah, new Yogg isn't always great. With old Yogg it's spells, right? So if you cast a lot of spells in the game, then surely when Yogg casts a spell for every spell that you played, some of those spells are going to be beneficial, right? And I think that maybe, just maybe, this is a Poison Seeds board, although it'll depend on the dragons here. That's interesting. Zezeraku the Warped. We like to see that.
Sleep now. Sleep now.
If we Poison Seeds here, it's a full board clear with Starfall. We lose our dragons. It's really unfortunate. I really did not want to lose Zezeraku. But we have Ultimate Infestation. And that is probably going to trigger a few more Dream Portals. Alright. Just thinking about what I want to target, what I want to leave up on the board. Okay. I guess we leave a dude up, right? That's fine. Also want to make sure we have enough room on the board for the remaining portals, hence trading off one of the treants. If 2 treants had been left on the board, would we have been in danger of overdrawing a portal? No, because there's 3 left in the deck. No, we would have overdrawn 1 portal. We would have overdrawn 1 portal if 2 treants had been left on the board, and we'd summoned all of our dragons with the ghoul on board as well. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a scary board. That is a scary board. The question is, how do we tackle it? There's so many options in hand here. Different paths that we could take.
I must think.
As tempted as I am by Yogg, I'm a little bit scared to play it. This just seems safe. Neutralise 2 big threats. Put taunts in the way. This just feels relatively safe. And yes, that was my final Poison Seeds. But we should be fine, right, from this point onwards?
The storm is coming.
Or maybe not.
I'll cut you down to size. I'll
Oh god.
cut you down to size.
It's a scary board. Maybe I should not have utilised those poison seeds so haphazardly. Now here's an interesting question. Why did the Spreading Plague animation slow down again? It used to be really good, it used to be really fast. And now it's slow. Why? What happened? What happened with the code? Why did Blizzard revert it?
Reporting for duty.
Okay, another portal. What do we get? Oh, wow. Talk about value.
Free of that blasted.
There he is. There is Vargoth. Finally, free of that blasted tower. And I think from this point on, we're going to be fine. Behold! Into nothing, but we get armor. That's pretty great.
Ooh, a rainbow.
My blade seeks vengeance.
And that is a golden Chromagus, by the way. The animation on that is absolutely beautiful. Look at the value. Double Ferocious Howl in hand. This is great. How do we want to trade here? I guess we're fine to get rid of the Chromagus now. He's done his job. He's given us value. And we're just going to gain armor. Gain some more armor. Sure. We're not getting those last two portals, though. Behold! Into nothing. Anyway. Vargoth did his job. We could have paired a Solar Eclipse, though, with some of that armor gain.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, here come the portals. What do we get? It's not great.
Cards are low.
Can we get something good here? Oh. Well, that's interesting. Koldara Drake. That is really a blast from the past. I guess we want taunts here. Not that we're too scared of anything. Or maybe spiders. No, taunt seems safe. Those taunts hopefully will block the Crab Riders from doing anything dangerous, if he's able to buff them.
Light and rot.
And from this point onwards, honestly, how do we lose? How do we lose? Mousing over the Koldara Drake, of course. Oh, there's the buff. Of course, top deck to buff, sure.
Reporting for duty.
Do they want to maybe prioritize with killing the Koldara Drake? Because that could get pretty scary if I decide to repeatedly utilize my hero power.
For the spire.
This is really fun. We're just gonna out-armor them to the point where they'll never, ever be able to kill us, I think. Meanwhile, Yogg sitting there to the left of my hand. Too scared to play him. I could just see Yogg discarding my entire hand. Somehow milling me and then discarding my entire hand.
I'm almost out of
And I'll have nothing left. And I'll just lose.
for the spire.
But let's be brave. Let's see what the God of Death does for us today. Oh, hello. So far, so good. This is nice.
What shall we hunt?
Don't draw cards. I don't need to draw cards, please. Okay, fine. That's fine too. Kill yourself, Yogg. Restore health to me, thank you. Deck of Lunacy? Shadow Step? Okay. This is, still fine. Sure. Okay. Alright, you can stop now. Okay, there goes our board. Hello indeed.
For duty.
So Yogg was fun. Yogg was really fun.
Cards.
Well, big green men time. Why not? Why not? So there's our win condition, ladies and gentlemen. In action. Big green men. Often, you don't get a chance to see the big green men because the games are over before you play them. But there's two, at least, medium-sized green men for you.
Hamul versus Sylvanas.
Right, time for a hunter. This should be interesting.
Nature seeks balance in all things.
This armor gain looks beautiful, by the way. Double Howl, Oak and Summer's branching paths. We won't be too greedy. We'll ditch the paths. Keep the rest. Seems decent. Oh, hello. Solar Eclipse. So nice. So what do hunters play on wild mode these days? It really is refreshing not to see a buff Paladin or a Secrets Mage or a Reno Priest. Okay, so an aggressive hunter, by the looks of things. And we know they play secrets. I much prefer hunter secrets over mage secrets. Counterspell is just such an annoying secret to play around. Incredibly frustrating. Whereas hunter secrets, just generally not too fussed by them. With double solar eclipse in hand. On that basis, combined with the armor gain, I just don't think we're dying in this game at all. The strategy will be to out-armor them. Lots of secrets. Lots of secrets played. Pressure plate. Whoa.
A mistake.
Yes, a mistake indeed. Now that's one situation where maybe I was happy that Vargoth did not come out. Interesting. And look at the speed at which they're playing. This hunter means business. They got places to be. They don't want to be wasting their time against a druid that gains armor and prologues the game. Right. Lots of armor.
Very clever.
Yes, we are very clever. Now, if they press their hero power button enough, they will eventually get through all of our armor.
Want to know why they call me Kodo Bane?
Kodo Bane. Wow, this feels like a standard mode game. Seeing Kodo Bane in action. Nice card though, nice design, nice entrance. I like it. I really do. Well, just gain a little bit more armor. Why not? And we'll draw a card for good measure. Why not? 9 cards in hand, so we don't want to draw any more. Poison Seeds is a nice pickup. We do even have the Starfall to combo with it. I think we're in a really good position here. And we're not as fearful of dying comparative to, let's say, a Flamewaker Mage, which you saw earlier in the video. You can die even with tons of armor. They just find a way to keep generating spells. Or even compared to a buff Paladin that can kill you very quickly or deal serious damage very quickly with those charging minions that get their attack power buffed. We're dealing with a Christmas tree here, which is always fun. Lots of potential secrets. Dart Trap. Wow. It's an interesting choice of a secret to get from the rifle. Huh. That's cute. Sure. So 2 secrets left. My money is on Freezing Trap, maybe? Explosive Trap, perhaps? Maybe Cat Trick now? That's an Emperor. What the hell? Huh. It's not Cat Trick. Explosive, yep, sure. Makes sense. Chip away at 2 armor. Now we've seen a pressure plate already, so maybe there's a second copy of pressure plate in play. And maybe the other secret is Freezing Trap. Maybe. Okay, another secret in play. We've got to suss it out all over again. Oh, hello. Fancy seeing Vargoth
The circle of life is
coming into our hand rather than being summoned onto the board through open summons. Oh, okay. Sure, open the cages. That's a huffer. Ugh. Not what we want to see. Although it's not going face. So that's a good thing. I am incredibly curious by the Emperor play. What did our opponent really want to discount in that hand? Is there a Malagos? Is there something dangerous sitting in that hand. I think this is the best defensive play I can make here. Wow, pressure plate number 2, sure. Okay. I think we're happy with this. We've got some Vargoth potential here. Vargoth and branching paths.
A black arrow.
Oh wait, going face with these spells?
A black arrow.
What are we hoping to do here? Are we dead? Blood Mage Thalnos? With spell power enabled kill commands? Are we dead? Really? You gotta be kidding me. So that was the Emperor discount. The Emperor discount was to discount the spells. To go with the Thalnos. To kill the opponent. But because we were able to armor up, we survived. Oh, this is great. This is Spell Hunter. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's refreshing. It's different to all of the other typical meta decks. So I absolutely approve and love it. Bravo to my opponent. Respect to my opponent for that Emperor Thalnos spell-based play. Okay, next game is against a warrior.
Hellscream's eyes are upon you. Nature seeks balance in all things.
Right, Jade Blossom seems sensible. Vargoth needs to go away and come out of Oaken Summons. Don't want to see him in the hand again, ever. The Nature Studies into Jade Blossom I think is pretty good for us here. Although I tend to have a tendency of getting some not so great spells from Nature Studies. I'd like better things. I'd like better offerings. Alright. Nothing to do here but Nature Studies, I guess. And these are all terrible again. Recycle, I think, is the only sensible option. If this is going to be some kind of rush-based deck, maybe we do want to throw something back into the deck.
Let the pain speak to me.
Draw cards seems absolutely fine here. Poison Seeds is reasonable. The Marauder, not what you want to see at all. There's a scary amount of resources in their hand. Okay, we did not want to draw him, and so of course he shows up. Why would he ever listen and show up through Open Summons? No, he's got to show up in our hand. That's still fine. We can combo him with Ferocious Howl, Branching Paths a bit later in the game. I'm curious about this deck that we're facing. Pirates? Acolytes of Pain? Interesting. We also know it's rush-centric. That taunt is not dead. It's still alive.
Free of that blasted tag to the fight!
Alright, we find our Vargoth value. Behold, indeed!
My hand is full.
Oh my goodness, dead man's hand. That's what we're facing. And they mill their dead man's hand. Unbelievable. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, this is NightmareCwb's Jade Druid. This is a really fun deck to play, and worth noting that, yeah, it's not a tier 1 deck, but you can have solid, I say solid matchups against a range of different opponents because of the armor gain. Against hyper-aggressive decks, Ogre Summons into Vargoth into a big taunt can just win you the game on the spot. My luck in terms of getting Vargoth onto the board through Ogre Summons has not been great recently. It used to be great, not so great anymore. But still, Vargoth from hand with a combination of Ferocious Howl or Branching Paths armor gain can still also be a great survival tool. So yes, against hyper-aggressive decks, this deck does do pretty well. Against slower decks, of course, you've got the big green men. You could generate insane late-game value, but often you may find that it never comes to that, and that Ysera's dragons alone are enough for that late game value, or even Yogg, Saron, Hope's End can just be enough to end a game, either for you or the opponent. Yogg can pick sides sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't do things that are truly beneficial to you. Sometimes he feels like he wants to help your opponent out by doing strange and crazy things. Clearly we need to be praising Yogg a bit more. In terms of Yogg Saron then, this is the old Yogg. We do not play the new Yogg in the deck. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was felt that the new Yogg was not necessary. Maybe it was felt by the deck author that the old Yogg was better, considering the different options that the new Yogg has available. Some of those options just aren't very appetizing sometimes. I touched on this during the video, but taking control, for example, of 3 enemy minions, sometimes that does not work out very well. Filling the board with rush minions, sometimes your rush minions are absolutely useless and your opponent's rush minions are better. The Pyroblast end game effect, I very rarely get that, but that in itself is a massive risk, right? So new Yogg, if you're looking to really win games, I think now there are perhaps more downsides, right? With old Yogg, you kind of know what you're getting. It's entirely spell focused, and this deck can cast an awful lot of spells, particularly with the shuffling of the Jade Idols and the repeated playing of the Jade Idols. That all adds to your spell count. So if you're getting Yogg Saron Hope's End to be casting all of those spells, and you yourself have played so many spells to charge him up, with the multitude of spells that are being played, you would hope that at least a few of them are going to be super beneficial to you. And what you're looking for board clears probably maybe card draw, but often not card draw, because your hands are going to be pretty full anyway with this deck in the late game when you're shuffling and drawing Jade Idols. But yeah, certainly a board clear. If Yogg can give you a board clear, that's often all you need. And with the multitude of spells that he's charged up with, you've got to hope and think that at least one of the spells that he plays is going to be a board clear. With the new Yogg, you're not guaranteed to be able to clear a board. I think you've got a better chance of clearing board with the original Yogg. So maybe that is the rationale, maybe that is the reasoning. Either way, this is a fun deck. 9,280 dust. Just remember, if you're crafting it, it's not tier 1, but it's fun if you enjoy this style of play. There will be some other builds of Jade Druid perhaps going around, builds that play both Yoggs, builds that don't play Yogg at all, builds that may not even play Ysera, although I do see big value in Ysera Unleashed. And of course builds that I've seen that play double Marauder and don't play the Ritualist at all. So I'm sure all of these different builds have their pros and cons, and depending on the meta and the pocket of the meta that you're in, I guess you adapt the deck accordingly. Right, so thank you very much for listening to me ramble on and on today about Yogg. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, please give me a subscribe, I would be eternally grateful. And I'll see you all again very soon, as always, for more Hearthstone fun. Please look after yourselves, please stay safe, and as always, please be good to one another.